Vince, how are you enjoying the show?
The show is really good. This is my highlight, spending time with you, actually.
That's very nice, man. I wish you would spend more time with our products.
I am spending time with your product. I mean, just look down.
I'm looking. That looks like one of our products.
All right, so Vincent Nguyen here with SlashGear and AndroidCommunity.com. We've got Ken Hong with LG, and you're going to talk about the new V20. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yes, it is exciting, and thanks for coming by and talking to me about it. This is the V20, and as you can see, it's now metal. Actually, aircraft grade aluminum. And the cool thing about this is that, as far as I am aware, this is the only metal phone that you can pop off the back to replace the battery. Okay, so this is real metal, and that's a real battery. So you can replace that. For someone like you, Vince, who's shooting video all the time, this will be nice, since you can just swap out a battery on the fly. And getting it back on is a very satisfying feeling, because it's it's got a latch. It's not just oh, there you go. It's a pretty solid feeling phone, but it's different from the original V10. The original V10 was more like a rugged phone. It had that kind of like tire tracks in the back, right? It had that DuraGuard material, and we just decided, we're gonna make this, and following the steps of the G5, we're gonna make the V20 metal as well. Here's the thing: it's thinner than the V10, it's lighter than the V10, it's got the same size display, it's got a bigger battery, 3000 versus 3200. It's got the same durability rating, so it's still military grade, and the great thing is, it's metal now. So I mean, we did everything we could to just make this a better phone without getting rid of anything that made the original V10 popular. Okay, so if you take a look, it's the first Android Nougat OS out of the box, and that's been confirmed by our friends at Google, and in some countries there'll be a partnership with B&O, with these B&O headphones in the box, in certain markets where B&O is well known. And then it's also got its branding on the back. It'll come in 3 different colors depending on carriers. It'll come in Titan gray, silver, or pink. And it still has that second screen up top. It's brighter. It's double the brightness of the previous second screen display. But it changes depending on what you have on the main display. It's got some really, really cool video and photo features. It's got 3 types of autofocus. Obviously, our famous laser focus. It's got great stability. So it's using electronic stability, image stability, as well as digital. So it's just all around a very, very good phone for content creation. And I'm willing to say that in the past, I've butted heads with people at marketing who wanted to say, hey, replace your DSLR. I wasn't comfortable saying that in past years, even though the marketers would love to say that, want to say that at every opportunity. But I really do think at this stage we've come to a point where phones like the V20 really can get the job done. Maybe not in every instance, but in maybe 80% of the cases where you would need a really good video clip or a photo.
Let's talk about the video clip specifically a little bit here, since
Yeah.
this is the first device that's going to use Qualcomm's new.
That's correct. It's the first device that's going to use the
Steadicam
yeah,
2.0.
Steadicam 2.0. It's both hardware and software based. So Steady Record 2.0 has a gyro based EIS, as well as the digital image stabilization. So what that means is that when you're shooting, the gyro is moving the little the lens in contrast to the motion. So it's neutralizing the motion as much as possible. And then in post processing with DIS, it's also leveling out some of that up and down or side to side motion. And so you're seeing the first iteration of that technology that is built into the Qualcomm Snapdragon 820. I mean, there have been other phones that have offered 820 without this technology because it requires the software, which you have to develop. I guess it's a lot more work than some are willing to put in. But again, we did it. We did it with Qualcomm's help and full partnership with their image people. Okay, so that's the on the stability side. We also have, like I said earlier, the laser detection AF, and we also have the phase detection AF, and now we also have the contrast AF. All three have their strengths. In the case of laser, that's good for indoors and low light situations. And in the case of phase detection, that's best for outdoors and motion. And for contrast autofocus, that's good for like close-ups.
And they work independent, and the system will decide the best system for
depending on the
scenario.
surroundings. It's using its sensors to detect which autofocus would work best, and you don't have to think anything about it.
Is that just for digital stills, or is that also for video as well? What system is used for video?
For photos and videos. Okay, so you should be able to see those benefits in either situation.
Got it.
Okay, I would say in the case of tracking focus, you can kind of point to or touch the part of the screen that you want to focus on, and even if it's moving, it'll keep that one particular part in focus, even if the rest of the image is going in and out. Okay, so that's something new in the V20 as well. You also have great audio. So the audio on this is second to none. You can record at high acoustic overload point, AOP, which means that whereas the V10 was able to record audio up to 100 decibels, this is able to go up to 132 decibels without distortion.
Can a human ear hear that sound quality?
All I know is, in a quiet room, you're looking at 50 to 70 decibels. So my thinking is, you should be able to, hear up to that level.
But even if you were to hear at that level, you would have to have a compatible headset to achieve that quality.
Exactly. I mean, it's all about the equipment, right?
Got it.
And so if you have the right equipment, you'll be able to tell the difference. If you don't, then it'll be a little bit more difficult. You can record in lossless format. So again, for professionals like yourself who may be doing an interview and don't want any compression, you can do that using we had the AAC in the V10. Now it's LPCM, which records in 24-bit 48 kilohertz format, and that's about 1.5 times better quality than the V10 recording.
And that was already really
that was pretty good, but it was compressed.
Right.
Okay.
But in my experience with the V10, the audio recording was already really good, actually better than what's out there today.
Every year there's got to be some improvement, in all aspects, and I think, it may be small, but it's significant for people who are in the business.
Good.
4 DACs. So 4 DACs, Quad DAC is the name that our partner ESS gave this particular technology, which is only available in the V20. It is not available in any other smartphones at the moment or in the near future. It's got, why people say, why don't you just do dual or, trio DAC? We did the dual in the V10, so we doubled it in the V20. In real world terms, what that means is that you're getting about 50% less total harmonic distortion than an industry-leading smartphone, one of the other ones that were introduced this year. about that, that same phone. If you compare the dynamic range, this offers about 1.8 better dynamic range than the leading phone brand model, and signal to noise ratio about 1.4 times better than that same device. So we are seeing significant improvements, not only compared to the V10, but also compared to our leading competitor. Okay.
Talk about the mic real quick compared to, like, let's say,
Yeah.
external. I mean,
Yeah,
what makes these three mics?
Sure. I mean,
Good.
mics have, that's important for, for this phone primarily because we're positioning this as a professional's phone.
Right.
And so, it's got high def audio recording, which means that it's, in this case, it's 6.5 times more accurate than its predecessor. 24-bit, 192 kilohertz FLAC support, no compression, lossless. And here's the way I would describe that. Let's say you are auditioning for America's Got Talent. This, with the built-in mic, should be good enough to record your audition tape. You know what I'm saying? You don't need an external mic. In fact, even with an external mic, we can't guarantee the quality of that mic, but we can guarantee the quality.
Because of the connector.
Sure, because the jacks are all limited in what
That's the weakest link. The jack is really the weakest link.
It's how much information it can process at the same time, right? But the built-in mic obviously doesn't have to be held back by the jack, and so using a built-in mic, we're saying you could record a professional level audition tape or audition song using this phone and just send it right
That
off.
makes sense because the mic is integrated into the whole entire circuit board.
Correct. So again, same size display, same durability rating, lighter, smaller, thinner. It's got the fingerprint sensor on the back, like the G5.
Okay, so the fingerprint scanner is basically virtually identical to the G5.
Sure. There's a lot of similarities to the G5, but then there are a lot of differences as well. So if you look at the main difference, with the power button on the back and the volume on the side, that's actually identical to the setup. Is this button to release the battery part. So again, there's some similarities and then there are some differences, and we think that is what makes this phone so unique.
Good. Thanks for the time, Ken.
Anytime, Vince.